Medicaid may be changing in a massive way for the low income. You may want to get ready now because there's likely going to be a shakeup with this program impacting millions and millions of beneficiaries, and that's what I want to share with you here in the video as far as what they're talking about and what these changes could be, as well as a big group out there that would be exempt from these changes, and that's a really good thing in my opinion. Let's get into the details here. All right, so first off, I do want to clarify, everything I'm talking about here in this video pertains to Medicaid, not to be mistaken with Medicare. These two programs sound very similar, but at the end of the day, they're also very, very different. In fact, as of right now, at the very end of 2024, as I'm filming this video right now, there's about 72 million plus people enrolled in Medicaid, and there's about 68 million people enrolled in Medicare. It's a huge percentage of our population. In fact, in total, there's over 140 million people enrolled in these two programs. It's about 41% of our total population in this country. So it's a lot of people, right? 4 in 10. Actually, it's 4.1 people out of every 10 people out there you see walking around the streets are on one of these two programs. It's a lot of people out there, right? But anyway, as we can look forward into the future, there's likely going to be some changes here. Like I said, just get ready, okay? Just be prepared that if some changes come, which they probably will be in the next who knows how long, at least you're prepared for this. But again, I want to identify the groups that would be exempt from some of these changes. And I have to say this much, a lot of you here in this community would fall into the exempt group, which is awesome, right? Okay, so here's what's going on. Medicaid. What is Medicaid? Well, it's a program that's out there available to offer healthcare coverages for basically people that are very, very low income, or people that are with disabilities, seniors, people living on a fixed income like SSI, things like that. It's available to these people, again, because healthcare is so incredibly expensive. And a lot of times, if somebody doesn't have Medicaid, a lot of times they can't afford other insurances. So this is there as a safety net program to help out, obviously, 72 plus million people that are currently enrolled. However, here's what happened. This happened a few years ago as well. And they're kind of rolling this out again. They're talking about it, which is implementing work requirements in order to be eligible for Medicaid. Now, you've heard me talk about this before, probably anyway. I've certainly talked about this before as it pertains to SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which, by the way, a lot of people enrolled in Medicaid are also getting SNAP benefits. So it's kind of like hand in hand here. But oh, by the way, I'm not going to sit and talk about SNAP here in this program, but this is something that's being discussed, which is potential work requirements. In other words, they're saying, hey, you got to work X number of hours. You need to be, going through formal education or training or something. There's a couple different categories here that would essentially fulfill the work requirements to be eligible for Medicaid. Otherwise, they basically say you can only get Medicaid for 3 months out of every year, and then you're basically exempt, or you're not eligible anymore until the next year. It's kind of what they're saying, okay? Now, let me explain really quickly here. What would the work requirements be? They said 80 hours a month, okay? So that's 20 hours on average per week is what that would average out to be. Now, here's the interesting thing about this as well. Remember, Medicaid, just like SNAP benefits, is one of these interesting programs. It's federally funded, as in the federal government gives states money and they use federal dollars to do these programs, but at the end of the day, they are state administered, right? So each state kind of has its own little rules, and they can kind of come in with their own little parameters and stuff like that. So they use federal dollars for these programs, but yet states administer the programs, right? So the states can implement their own little rules, okay? Now, we've had other states implement this. In fact, I just read about this as well a couple days ago, where I saw South Dakota is talking about implementing a potential work requirement. We saw this with Arkansas. We've seen this with Georgia. We've seen this with multiple other states out there that have wanted to and tried to implement work requirements, okay? Now, before we all get too worried here, let me tell you the exempt groups. Now, I'm going to talk about and hit on some of the big exempt groups. In other words, groups of individuals that be completely exempt. In other words, you don't need to fulfill the work requirement. And again, as of right now, this is still just an idea. It's out there. They're talking about it. But again, just be prepared so that we know about this when someday in the next who knows how long, if they come forward and say, well, we're going to implement work requirements. Okay, well, is that going to be implemented on the federal level? Again, all encompassing across the entire country? Or would it be on a state-by-state level? Good question. Still yet to be determined. They're talking about it all over the place. But anyway, so let me talk about really quickly some of the exempt groups, because like I said earlier in the video, a lot of you here in this community would be exempt, which is honestly really nice, right? Okay, so who would be exempt? Number one, again, I'm not going to hit all the groups here, but I'm going to hit some of the major ones. Pregnant women. So if somebody's pregnant, they'd be exempt. They wouldn't have to fulfill this. Someone with a disability, okay? This is a big group as well. There's a lot of people out there that have disabilities, things like this. They're enrolled in Medicaid, and it helps them out tremendously. So that's really nice. Anybody with a disability, again, would be exempt. You would not have to fulfill the work requirements of 80 hours per month, okay? Next is a big one, seniors. Yeah, that's a good one right there, right? Do we really want, grandma, whatever age, going out there working so she can keep her Medicaid? I don't know. It seems super messed up, right? I mean, generally, maybe she'd be enrolled. Again, I'm just saying but seniors would maybe be enrolled in Medicare, but not everybody, right? That's not necessarily the case for everybody. So that is one of the groups as well. Now, what is the definition of senior? Good question, okay? Because you got to wonder, okay? Depends on where you go. Your local restaurant might say, Fridays are senior day. Anybody 50 or older. Well, okay. That's your local, restaurant, whatever. You get my point. Is sometimes you see different definitions of senior, okay? I've seen two different definitions that I've seen out there floating around in regards to this. 60, the age of 60 and over, or 65 and over is where they identify senior, okay? Generally, they usually call somebody a senior after the age of 65, generally, but sometimes they do knock that down to the age of 60, okay? So I'm just saying, those are the two ages that I've seen floating around. Either way, these individuals would also be exempt from fulfilling the work requirement. Again, that'd be huge, right? I mean, that'd be a really, really big thing for a lot of people, because out of the 72 plus million people, let's just talk about it for a second. Who is enrolled in Medicaid? Again, vast majority of people, seniors, right? Low income, fixed income seniors. People with disabilities, again, exempt. Pregnant women, again, exempt, right? And there may even be some exemptions for those individuals who have dependent children as well. Again, that would be another big group, exempt, right? So really, who would they be targeting here? It's kind of the same situation as we've talked about before with SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Who do they focus on? It's the ABAWD group. But what is that? Able-bodied adults without dependents. That is what that stands for, able-bodied adults without dependents, and they put age ranges on this. They basically say if somebody's an able-bodied person, no disability, they're not a senior, they don't have dependents, they're just an able-bodied person, that is who they want to focus on and implement these work requirements for, okay? Again, still a lot yet to be determined. What would the official age range be on that? Would they really only focus it on ABAWD people? What are all the details? Again, still yet to be determined. And would this be administered again on a federal level, all encompassing across the entire country as it is as an enrollee and a beneficiary, somebody receiving Medicaid? Or would this just be on the state level where states can cherry pick and say, this state over here, I'm going to implement a work requirement. This state over here says, no work requirement in our state. A lot of big questions that are still out there, but just be prepared. I've been reading about this a bunch lately. Just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's not happening today, but could it happen in the next, handful of months, the next couple of years? For sure it could, right? And again, just want you to be prepared on this. When could something happen? I don't know, but all I'm saying is that they've already done it for SNAP. Just be prepared. They might do it for Medicaid as well. But the really cool part, for the majority of you here in this community, you'd be exempt for, a handful of reasons that are just listed off there. And there's more than that as well. I didn't even hit on all of them, but those are the really big ones. Most of you would be exempt, but not everybody, okay? Just saying. Just be prepared for this if that's the case. Oh, really quickly here, let me throw some statistics out because I thought this was interesting as well as I was doing research on this. They said in 2023, 44% of Medicaid beneficiaries were working full-time. 20% were working part-time, and then there was a whole mix of other people that were, in school. Again, that'd be exempt as well, because schooling, job training, skill training, stuff like that is also an exempt category. So the vast majority of people are already kind of fulfilling this. So, it's just saying. That's according to the statistics that I was finding on this. So anyways, I want to throw it really fast for you. I hope this helps you. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I will keep you posted with any further information that I find. If you have any questions, please stick it down below in the comment section. Let me know. I can jump on a live stream, another dedicated video, whatever you need from me, I'm here for you. Otherwise, please, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you're new here or if you haven't done so, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button down below. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Otherwise, check out the other 5,000 plus videos here on the channel in the video library. Check those out. Otherwise, if you know somebody that receives Medicaid or they're going to be receiving Medicaid, please share this video with them. There's a share button down below. Otherwise, in the comment section or the top of the comment section, Did I say that twice? Description, sorry. Description or the top of the comment section. There's some hand-selected popular videos for you there. Check those out. Otherwise, right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Thanks again. Really appreciate you. Have a nice day. Take care, and